Well, ladies and gentlemen, here in the Spotless Stadium, we turn our attention to down in front of the big screen, and results now of Special Class 436, the champion and reserve champion Shetland Pony Stallion, and congratulations to the champion from Goulburn in New South Wales, catalogue number 1702. It is at Crenell Jonte, exhibited by KG and JJ Brown and the Crenali Stud. And the reserve champion, congratulations to catalogue number 1730. It is Kellyville Lee Shetland Stud and Mr. Kevin Twaddle from just outside of Goulburn in southern New South Wales with Kelly Lee Kinton. So congratulations to our champion and reserve champion. In fact, both of these Shetland Pony Stallions are bred from the same stud, both by Mullowee Stud Stallions. Mullowee Kinga was the sire of the champion, and the reserve champion was Malwari Raja. So congratulations to our champion and reserve champion. The champion goes to Crenell Jonte. The reserve champion goes to Kellyville Lee Kinton. So two beautiful exhibits here this afternoon.
Indeed, and Crenell Jonte wins this beautiful rug, and it has been supported by the McIntyre family and also receives a product prize for champion Shetland Pony, supported by International Animal Health, valued at $110.
Do you think that the rugs are a little more affordable because they're a little smaller?
I'm sure they get a discount because it does use half the material that a Clydesdale might use, but they do look very special. The trick would be, would you ever actually put a rug back on that pony afterwards, or would you hang it up inside as a memento for this very special occasion? Because you know what horses do with rugs. If you actually put them on them.
Yeah, but it is a bit of bragging rights at the show to have that rug on as it comes off the float. And,
yes.
Oh, this is a rug. I just picked it up out of the tack room. I won it last year at at that little show in Sydney.
No, but it is a lovely memento. It's a very special thing to get that beautiful purple rug. So, well done. Congratulations there. Well, our mounted police are now riding in pairs, and they're a pair of police horses, and it's basically testing the ability of the horses and riders to work together in harmony and unison. It's one thing doing it your own way, but when you have to work in with a partner, then you both need to accommodate each other, and you find that one horse might have a slightly larger stride or be a little bit more free-going, and the other partner needs to work in with it to stay in unison. So every patrol New South Wales Police horse perform is done in pairs, and this class is really the horse's bread and butter for patrol work. They're working together all the time, and they'll go on to do obstacles and bending poles to simulate different obstacles that they may encounter when they're working, such as street signs and other obstacles. So we've seen that out there today. Well, now we have the results of yet another class. They've been coming in thick and fast. And now it's the result of Class 682, 2 or 4 wheeled hard-tired turnout, horse over 14 hands that does not conform to the RS definition of a buggy or a sulky. This is our Class 682 that we've been watching in front of the Cumberland stand, and congratulations goes to our winner, Crosswinds, our Brennan. Elsa Avery from Wallington in Victoria, and her nomination catalogue 1076. In second place, Max Pearce from Goulburn with Bowood Rocky Road. And in third place, John Hunter and Mrs. Evan Chesson and Mrs. Jodie McKeon from Spring Hill in Victoria with Shepherd's Hill Gumboots. So congratulations to our winner, Crosswinds, our Brennan, and our 2 place getters in Class 682.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we turn our attention back to the show jumping with the first horse on course in the final show jumping event for the first day in the Spotless Stadium, the JK Mackay Arena. And we welcome out from Marlburg in southeast Queensland, Fairview Aliquidam. And Fairview Aliquidam, ridden and owned by Stuart Jenkins, Stuart and Rebecca Jenkins from Marlburg. Jonty, as he's known around the stables, he's what you'd call as a little bit of a problem child. And he makes his way onto the Group A Section 1 competition class, time allowed, in this one-round competition run under Article 238.2.1, 78 seconds. If you've never watched show jumping before, we welcome. Great time to be here. You can be like our international judge, Mr. Ho, sitting up here in the judge's box. You can simply judge whether a horse knocks a fence down, so if it alters the height or width, or if it leaves it up. If it knocks it down, you give them a tick, and they stay on that best possible score of 0. If they knock it down, you give them a 4 for each fence. If they exceed that time allowed of 78 seconds, then they pick up 1 time penalty for every 4 seconds or part thereof that they're over the time allowed. And looking pretty nice through the first part of the course. 3 fences left to go now, 4 jumping efforts. Fence number 10, it's a left-hand wheel. Back around to fence number 11, and then we finish over the combination of 12A, 12B. All clear at this stage. Comes down to the final fence. A's right, B's right. Unfortunately, it's not right. 4 jumping penalties at the last. 72.59, 72.59. Looked like a great round, but that fence down opens the door for our other competitors with a total of 4. So in this competition, we use faults before time. So 2 riders on the same score. Then we use the time to decide the winner. So unlike the last class where you could knock a rail down, in this competition we use faults and then time to decipher. So Stuart Jenkins, Fairview Aliquidam, has 4 jumping penalties, no time penalties. Time allowed 78 seconds, 72.59 the time taken. As we now welcome out into the arena, Andrew Lamb, and Am is riding CP Argento. CP Argento and Andrew Lamb are the current runner-up 2016 Australian show jumping champions. And Andrew already featuring here this week, this day. Feels like the weekend. We're at the show. It's a Thursday. Boss doesn't need to know. So, all clear over the first few fences. Andrew Lamb, a dairy farmer from Denison. So we've seen the course. Now, if they knock 1 rail or the entire jump down, we give them 4. If they have a disobedience on the course, well, then we give them 4 jumping penalties for the first disobedience and elimination for the second. A rail down at fence number 6, so we've 4 jumping penalties. So to take the lead now from Fairview Aliquidam, Andrew Lamb can't afford to have another rail down, and he must now be quicker than 72.59 because they're on the same score. He now needs to keep on rolling. 2 fences left to go, 3 jumping efforts. Turns around to fence number 11. A very big, tall oxer. Course set, it's about 1.50 to 1.55 in height. A's right. B's there, just the 1 rail down. 4 jumping penalties, stops the clock. 68.48, so he will take the lead. 68.48 seconds, 4 jumping penalties. No time penalties, a total of 4 for CP Argento and our current runner-up, Australian show jumping champion, Andrew Lamb. So welcome to all of our viewers that are watching around the country, around the world on our live stream, the first of our live streaming events, which is rolling here for the 2017 Sydney Royal Easter Show, wherever you're watching around the world. Hope you're enjoying your afternoon, and I can tell you are missing out because it's a beautiful day here at the Sydney Royal Easter Show in the Spotless Stadium, as we now welcome out the next of our riders. From Gawler in South Australia, it is Nicole Brueggemann, and Nicole Brueggemann is riding Lux Like Cavalier. Lux Like Cavalier was imported from Ireland here to Australia, and is owned by the Brueggemann family and ridden by Nicole. Nicole's mum and dad, both very successful show jumpers, not only in South Australia but around the country. Nicole, a current New South Wales country show jumping champion, and also has had great success at Adelaide Royal, Melbourne Royal, and also here at Sydney in the junior and open ranks. And today jumping in the Group A Section 1 competition, carrying the 4 jumping penalties from the second fence. So interesting, 3 riders gone so far, 3 different fences have fallen to the ground, and we start to see the technicality that we are witnessing in our show jumping. 2 fences left to go now. 3 jumping efforts. So time allowed, 78 seconds. We'll have to keep an eye on that as well, carrying the 8. Safely over the last. 8 jumping penalties, 77.19, 77.19. 8 jumping penalties. No time penalties, a total of 8 for Nicole Brueggemann and Lux Like Cavalier. Next out into the arena, we welcome the next of our riders, Clem Smith, and Clem is riding Delilah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we turn our attention to our judge, Mrs. Joy Jones, down here for our Supreme Champion Shetland Pony. And please put your hands together for catalogue number 2459, Fiona Wilson and Miss Nornie Wright with Balanguin Enchanted. So congratulations, what a beautiful exhibit down here, winning a class and then its champion, and now being awarded the 2017 Supreme Champion Shetland Pony for 2017.
And our winner receives a beautiful rug for the Supreme Champion Shetland Pony, supported by Invermere Pastoral, and also the annual trophy for the Supreme Champion Shetland Pony, supported by the Shetland Pony Society of Australia.
We've got best opposite sex to Supreme one.
And also in this class, we have the best opposite sex to the Supreme Champion Shetland Pony. Congratulations to catalogue number 1702, KG in JJ Brown's nomination, and Carnelli Stud from Goulburn with Carnelli Jonty. So congratulations to our best opposite sex to the Supreme Champion Shetland Pony. Well, a slight delay in the show jumping, hence why we crossed, if you're watching at home, there's so many other rings taking place here today. And we had a broken rail at fence number 8, so a quick run out to the back, grab a spare and carry it out. And we welcome out Clem Smith. And Clem is riding Delilah. Clem hails from Gatton in southeast Queensland, a professional show jumping rider, horse breaker and trainer. Delilah was purchased in New Zealand and imported to Australia by Clem and Charlene Smith. And great to welcome them down here this afternoon, competing in the first of the Group A Section 1 competitions. And this is the first of our big-time show jumpers here at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. So carrying the 12 jumping penalties at this stage, safely through the combination of 9A, 9B. Two fences left to go. Still our current leader, Andrew Lamb and CP Argento on 4 jumping penalties. 68.45 was his time taken. And Delilah's not her best day at the office. Few rails down there. 75.31, just under the time allowed. With the 6 rails down, 24 jumping penalties. No time penalties, a total of 24. Well, we said we had the best in the business here at the Spotless Stadium. Well, we certainly do, as we welcome in yet again another star-studded rider. It is Jamie Kermond. And Jamie riding the Yandu Equestrian Services nomination of Yandu Oaks Constellation. Jamie has been to Europe a few times now. He's represented Australia at Nations Cup and also the World Equestrian Games. He was also shortlisted for the Rio Olympics, and he was our non-travelling reserve from Europe with this horse. Napper, as he's known around the stables, was bred by Alice Cameron and Oak Sport Horses, and now owned by Yandu Equestrian Services and ridden by Jamie Kermond. And Kermo is the current Australian show jumping champion, proud husband to Jamie winning, and Jim and Kerm run a very successful business out at Ebenezer with Yandu. And Kermo is the rider that just knows how to prep his horse for the right class, and he never gets flustered, and he always has a plan. He's an absolute world-class rider, and we see lots of them here in Australia, but Kermo has managed to make it on the big stage as well. And he certainly knows how to ride a horse around a course. Of course, at this level, you need to be pinpoint accurate.
Okay, so you give me firstly at now.
So it comes down to the final fence. All clear at this stage. A's right. Come on, Kermo. There's a lovely clear round. Put your hands together. 70.75. No jumping penalties, no time penalties, nothing like making a pressure ride. We talked him up. He can talk the talk. He can walk the walk. Jamie Kermond. Lovely clear round, riding Yandu Oaks Constellation. And that is our first clear round in the competition. What a ride from one of the best in the business, the current Australian show jumping champion, Jamie Kermond, riding Yandu Oaks Constellation. Well, from one top rider to another, we now welcome out James Arkins. And James had a great weekend on Sunday out at Equifest, the big show jumping competition as the warm-up to the Sydney Royal Easter Show, where he won the Sydney Open Grand Prix and pocketed lazy $10,000 for the win. But it's another day, it's another dollar, it's another competition, and everyone starts on the same possible score of 0. And we welcome out James Arkins from Rothwaite Farm, the proprietor and rider, and James's mum and dad, great supporters, Michelle and Peter Arkins, of their son James. James rides Da Vinci's Pride, and here's a horse that's been round the world and back literally. He has started his career here in Australia, and Jeep, as he's known around the stables, has been to Europe and then come back to Australia and has had great wins with James at the helm. First fence on the ground, so even if he has a quicker time than James Arkins, he cannot take the lead. So James now looking to put a nice 4-fault round on the board. Doesn't want any more mistakes, riding Da Vinci's Pride. So just a 4 at this stage. Two efforts left to go. One fence comes round to the combination of 12 A's. Right, come on James, safely over B, stops the clock. 65.20, so a quicker time than Jamie Kermon. But the one rail down, 4 jumping penalties, no time penalties, a total of 4, and currently into second place. So James's time, 65.20, and a total of 4 with Kermon clear. That puts James into second place. Andrew Lamb currently sitting in third, and Stuart Jenkins currently sitting in fourth place. As we now welcome out Gabrielle Kuna, and Gabby riding Sierra Casiago. This combination won the World Cup qualifier, the final of the 2016-17 series down at Bonio Park earlier this year. And this horse and Chris Chugg won the World Cup series here in Australia in the previous calendar year, 2015-16, which won them a right to go through to the World Cup final, where they actually swapped horses, and Chris rode Gabby's mare Crystalline to finish in the top 10 in the world. Crystalline was subsequently sold, and they decided to retain Sierra Casiago and have brought him back to Australia. And Gabby's done a superb job to take the ride from her partner Chris, and steer this horse was placed in a super tough competition last Sunday, or just this previous Sunday gone. All clear at this stage. Time to beat 70.75. Can't afford a rail down. This last tough line, fence 8 down to 9A, 9B, the related line down to the Sunflowers. Nicely through the combination. This is our second clear round. Come on, Gab. Time allowed, 78 seconds. Time to beat to be in front of Kermo, 70.75. One fence left to go, 2 jumping efforts. He's right. Hey, it's another clear round. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. What a ride. 71.53 into second place. 71.53. No jumping penalties, no time penalties, and currently into second place, which means James Arkins now goes into third. Andrew Lamb into fourth, and Fairview Aliquidam and Stuart Jenkins into fifth. What a feast of show jumping we've had here on day one. What a great prelude to the rest of the show. Let me tell you, you want to come back each and every day, because these riders really are putting it out there and having a red-hot go on first day of competition. So we now welcome out Becky Jenkins, who in fact on Saturday and Sunday was up at Cairns in far north Queensland teaching a huge number of riders. She's been an Australian Coach of the Year and very successful show jumping rider. She rides RSB Jacana. Becky, many of you may have remembered her and her maiden name, Becky Allen. And Robbie and Sarah Allen and Becky Allen have all been top show jumpers. Becky moved to Queensland with her now husband, Stuart Jenkins, a number of years ago, and is based at Marlburg, which is in southeast Queensland. RSB Jacana has won and placed in plenty of World Cup qualifiers. She's all clear at this stage as well. This related line down to the combination. He's right. 3 fences left to go. Time to beat 70.75. She can't afford a rail down. This mare is Mia, as she's known around the stables, is very quick against the clock. Doesn't waste much time. Hey, that's a great ride. Put your hands together. Clear round. 71.03, 71.03. Not quite quick enough for the lead, but 71.03 will put her in as the bridesmaid at this stage into second place, with Gabby Kuna now going into third, James Arkins into fourth, and Andrew Lamb into fifth place. So 2 clear rounds in a row. And a great ride from Becky Jenkins and RSB Jacana. Well, we now welcome out Juliet and Walker Hansen's nomination from Hawke's Bay in New Zealand. It is at Turn It Blue NZPH. And in the saddle, we welcome Jono Berry. Jono is Walker and Juliet's future son-in-law, engaged to their daughter Bridget. And based here in New South Wales, Jono, an engineer by trade, works for J.K. Williams Civil Engineering and Construction, and has been with them for a number of years, and based out at Penrith, where he resides at Deirdre Hartog's property. Turn It Blue NZPH, purpose-bred show jumping gelding, sired by Mr. Blue. And it's interesting, a couple of riders have had that first fence down. Normally, or quite often, our course designer will give us a spread fence to get them in, and being a vertical may not have caught the horses out, but they're the tricks that our course designer uses to make sure at this level that horses and riders are switched on. All these horses are very experienced competitors. This would certainly not be their first season of competition. Many, many years goes into producing a top show jumper. Show jumpers generally commence their career about 4 years of age, 4 or 5 years of age, once they sort of finish growing. And it may take you 5 to 10 years to get a horse to jump to this level of competition. Not only does the horse need to get confident with its task of jumping this fence of this size, but also they need to develop the muscle and fitness to be able to do this. And similarly, our riders, we'll have riders that compete right through to their 50s and 60s. And quite often, it's the older riders that have the experience and expertise rather than the quick thinking of our young riders. So it is really a good sport of many eras or many times. And Jono Berry, just under the time allowed of 78 seconds. He had 8 jumping penalties. No time penalties, a total of 8. As we now welcome out from Western Australia, Stephanie Tucker. And Stephanie riding Oaks Redwood. Oaks Redwood, bred here on the East Coast out of Oaksmith Scarlet, and owned and ridden by our Western Australian rider making the long trip across, Stephanie Tucker.
And we have results from Class 453, the group of 3 ponies by the same sire or out of the same dam. And well done to KG and JJ Brown and the Crenelli stud in Goulburn for their win with their family of Shetlands, Crenelli Jonty, Crenelli Jacqueline and Crenelli Impatience winning that particular class. And in second place it was CD Biggar and PT McCormick from Goulburn with Red Acres Melissa, Red Acres Maifwani and Red Acres Shannon. And in third place it was Fiona Wilson and Nornie Bright from Ballangine in Victoria with Glenarden Charisma and Balnagown Enchanted and Balnagown Elegance. And we do have results as well for the police pairs, and they have moved into their 4s, and they will be competing in their team of 4s. But the results, first place in the police horses pairs were Constable Piper on, it was Senior Constable Nix on Doctor, and Senior Constable Cherry on Royal. In second place, Constable Townley on Major and Constable Vass on Raz. In third place, it was Senior Constable Maxwell on Anzac and Senior Constable Higgins on PD. In fourth place, Senior Constable Shelley on Reveille and Constable Piper on Warrigal. In fifth place, it was Senior Constable Downing on Prince, Senior Constable Ford on Bodie. So well done to all of our troopers there, and they move into their 4s.
Thanks, Kate. Well, Stephanie Tucker safely over the last. She had a disobedience at fence number 3 plus a rail down, 8 jumping penalties, 3 time penalties, a total of 11. But a big step up for that combination. It was probably 3 or 4 years ago we saw them jumping here in part 3, and they haven't made the trip across from Western Australia for a couple of years, and to go straight into part 1 really is a big step up for horse and rider. But a great effort from the young guns from Western Australia. Well, next out into the arena we welcome number 13 in the draw, and this is Clem Smith. Clem is riding Guru. Guru nominated by Clem and Charlene Smith and ridden by Clem. And this is Clem's second appearance in this competition. He's been very speedy out there in the collecting ring, in the practice arena. So before they come out here, Kate, they have a number of fences that they warm up over. And the riders use that time to ensure that their horse's muscles are warmed up just like you would as an athlete yourself, and making sure that you are ready to go. And then they come out through the tunnel and into the arena when it's their turn to go. This horse is owned by Clem Smith and Leanne Brueggemann, and Guru is the 2012 runner-up Australian show jumping champion with Clem at the helm. In fact, it's an interesting story. This horse was sent to Clem by Leanne Brueggemann from South Australia as a little bit of a problem child, and was sent to Clem to sort of iron out a few issues. And Clem instantly built a rapport with it and said to Leanne, I think I'd like to take a half share in this horse because I believe he's good enough to make a Grand Prix horse. And so far, so good for Clem. All clear at this stage. 3 fences left to go, 4 efforts, 10, 11 and 12 AB. Has a little look at the harness out to the side.
Yes, I'll time them up right now.
Carrying the 8 jumping penalties. He's in the sport of show jumping. He was cleared off fence number 10. 8 jumping penalties, 69.84. So his time was quick enough to take the lead. But unfortunately, those 2 rails down, 8 jumping penalties. No time penalties, a total of 8 for Clem Smith and Guru. Well, the runner-up in the World Cup Series in 2016-17 from Karoi on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland is next out into the arena. And we welcome Billy Raymond. Billy has had great success here at the Sydney Royal Easter Show for many years. And he and his fiancée, Ali Berwick, run a very successful equestrian business, not only in show jumping, but also with show horses. And Billy is riding Anton. Anton, nominated by Michelle and Tim Clark and Mrs. Bryce from South Australia, and ridden by Billy Raymond.
What's the class called?
Anton, very talented horse, but I don't think Billy would mind us saying that he can be, like any high-strung athlete, sometimes a little bit of a highly strung horse. And Billy has done a superb job in producing this horse, where many riders, I think, would have said, oh, it's all too hard. Billy has worked and worked to build a rapport with Anton, and when they are on, they are one of the best combinations in the country. Normally on day one, though, you'll see Anton having a good look around, and Billy will be just looking to try and negotiate around this course without fault.
So it's
Well, we do have a result coming up, and gee, I'm glad, Kate Day, I'm commentating the show jumping at the moment because it's a team of 4s. We'll watch Billy till his final fence. They're just collating that at the moment. And Billy Raymond just carrying the 4 jumping penalties at this stage at fence number 5. The final fence coming up, 12A, 12B. A's right, B's there. Safely over the last, 64.39, 64.39, just the 1 rail down, 4 jumping penalties, no time penalties. Currently into 4th place for Billy Raymond and Anton, as we welcome out the next of our riders into the arena. It's Jessica Brown and Casco. And Kate Day, best of luck with your team of 4s.
Why, thank you very much, Tim. Yes, we have the results of Class 675, the police teams, and we're going to go through them one by one, so bear with me, we have many. In first place, it was Senior Constable Nix, in Senior Constable Cherry, Constable Towney and Constable Vass. In second place, Senior Constable Shelley, Constable Piper, Constable Berghofer and Constable Humphreys. In third place, congratulations go to Senior Constable Cunningham, Senior Constable Turnbull, Senior Constable Maxwell and Senior Constable Higgins. And the reserve, Senior Constable Condon, Senior Constable Lovett, Senior Constable Downing, and finally, Senior Constable Ford. Congratulations to all of our mounted troopers there in the police teams of 4.
Well done. It's not easy when they're not written down for you. You've just got numbers. So super effort. Great to be having a laugh here in the box with Kate Day, and great to be here at the Sydney Royal Easter Show in the Spotless Arena. Hey, Jess Brown is our rider on course at the moment, riding Casco. All clear at this stage. This combination represented Australia in the Nations Cup final at Barcelona last year and did a superb job. Turns for home. 2 fences left to go. We told you we had the best in the business here. We weren't lying. I have said that before, and I can tell you we didn't have the best. But here today, we definitely have the best in the business. Jess Brown comes down to the final fence. All clear at this stage. A's right. B's there. Come on, Sydney. Put your hands together. It's a great ride. 74.84. No jumping penalties, no time penalties, and all clear. That will put her into 4th place at this stage. Our 4th clear round here this afternoon. Boy, oh boy, our riders really are stepping up and taking on international course designer Verna Deeg in this wonderful competition as the first of our Group A Section 1 show jumping events being live streamed around the country and around the world. So if you are watching on, grab a ticket and come down here to the Sydney Royal Easter Show. We have 14 days or 13 more days of competition. Of course, you cannot see the man from Snowy River anywhere else but here live and in person. So do make sure you come along. Well, someone who has been a top competitor for many, many years in the sport of show jumping, an equestrian icon. We welcome out Vicky Roycroft, and Vicky is riding Congo Z. Congo Z was imported to Australia by Yandu Equestrian. And Vicky, that was not what we planned. But Vicky stands up and catches Bonk, gives him a pat and says, sorry, buddy, that wasn't what we hoped for. And in the sport of show jumping, fall of horse or rider does incur elimination. But I'm sure Vicky, she's tough. She'll be back again and fighting fit tomorrow.
And we'll take this opportunity to have a look at our Class 454. So many Shetlands in one place. You can never have too many. And now we have the Shetland Pony Stallion or Colt and 2 mares or fillies, 2 years and over, owned but not necessarily bred by the exhibitors. So these are each exhibitor's best lineup of Shetland ponies there now for our judge, Mrs. Joy Jones.
Well, next out into the arena, we welcome James Arkins, and James is riding Rothwaite Vigilante 2. And this horse purchased with the help of Vaughan Jeffries in New Zealand, bred by a New Zealand breeder. It's a thoroughbred warm blood cross. Rothwaite Vigilante 2. Robbie, as he's known around the stables, is James's second mount in this class. First horse he's currently sitting 5th on. He had 4 jumping penalties, looking to try and better himself here. James is looking for a clear round quicker than a time of 70.75 will put him into the lead. Taking on rival Jamie Kermond. James is not mucking around here either. He's a very competitive rider. They call him Fast Arkins many a times, because he really is one of our fastest riders. He's not scared to take a risk. All clear at this stage. Time to beat, 70.75. 3 fences left to go. Rail down. Another rail down, so now he's carrying 8. Jamie Kermond breathes a sigh of relief and thinks, okay, that's one less that I thought may have gone around me. Safely over the last. Rothwaite Vigilante 2, James Arkins. Look at the time, 64.94, 64.94. The 2 rails down, 8 jumping penalties, no time penalties, a total of 8. As we now welcome in the winner of the Grand Prix here, the Sydney Show Grand Prix last year, James Hetherington. And James is riding JB Carabas. Bev Edwards was the breeder of this horse. Bev, Chris Chugg's mum. from JB Stud, has bred a lot of top dressage, show jumping and eventing horses for many, many years. And JB Carabas is number 18 in the draw of 23. James Hetherington's just had a big couple of days over there at the English Sales with his new job with Newgate Farm as the media and marketing manager. From Tamworth in northern New South Wales. Bruiser, as he's known to his mates. He's a bit of a larrikin at the shows, but he's always good value to have around. JB Carabas certainly can be a top horse on his day. He absolutely loved it here in 2016. Safely through the combination A, B falls to the ground. Comes down to the final fence. A's right. B falls to the ground, so that's 8 jumping penalties, 69.34. Bruiser time quick enough to take the lead. 2 rails down will relegate you down to 14th place at this stage of the competition. As we now welcome out the 2016-17 winner of the World Cup Series. It is Clint Beresford riding Emmaville Jitterbug.
And we can announce the winners of Class 688, the 2 or 4-wheeled hard-tied turnout, 10 hands and not exceeding 14 hands. And congratulations goes to the Rag and Proctor Family Show team from Mittagong with Crystal Park Limited Edition in first place. In second place, Joanne Dorman and Mr. Darren Dorman and Miss Jessie Dorman, and that is Yarra Heights Little B, and in third place, Tahara Park Cavalier, Maureen Pengelly and Miss Kerry Buckley from Tani in Victoria. And our next result is Class 454, Shetland Pony Stallion or Colton, 2 mares or fillies, 2 years and over, owned but not necessarily bred by the exhibitor. And our winner is KG and JJ Brown and Cornelli Stud from Goulburn. They've had a fantastic day. They've been up amongst the winners most of the day, and well done once again with a lovely lineup there. In second place, it was Cavell Lee Shetland Stud and Mr. Kevin Twaddle via Goulburn, and in third place, CD Biggar and PT McCormick from Goulburn with their lineup of Shetlands. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you, Kate. Well, Clint Beresford, our rider on course at the moment, riding Emmaville Jitterbug. Jason, as he's known around the stables. Clint Beresford recently at the EA National Awards was awarded the 2016 Domestic Athlete of the Year. And Emmaville Jitterbug was awarded the New South Wales Athlete of the Year. So a very talented combination. They won the World Cup Series here in Australia in 2016/17. And really was a family effort. Warren, his father, drove the truck right around the country. They went to Adelaide twice and up to Queensland and down into Victoria. Hey, look at this. He's all clear at this stage. 4 fence, 4 rails, 4 jumping penalties at the second last fence. Comes up to the combination. A's right, B's right. Time is very good. 68.62, but a rail down. 4 jumping penalties. No time penalties will put him down into 8th place for Clint Beresford and Emmaville Jitterbug. Time taken 68.62. So I'll just introduce the next of our riders. We welcome out number 20 in the draw. This is Brooke Dobbin, and Brooke is riding Silvo.
And now we have the winners of our Class 128, the Australian Stock Horse and Lady Rider Senior. And well done to Melise Tumor Webb and Mr. Clayton Webb from Goulburn. And Deezer Rivoli X-Ray is our winner in the Australian Stock Horse and Lady Rider. In second place, Brewers Benui Conductor, owned by Mr Ben Han. In third place, Kathy Lammy from Wyong Creek with Zeronite Delta's Magic. In fourth place, Paul Waddell and Mrs Julie Waddell's nomination Silverthorn Man o' War. In fifth place, Kate Shoren from Corowa with Orlanga MK Popcorn. And in sixth place, the Adams Family Partnership and Master Dylan Smith and Master Mitchell Smith with Smarter Phoenix. So congratulations to our winner and place getters.
Well, Brooke Dobbin is our rider on course, riding Silvo. All clear at this stage. Silvo comes from the Yarra Glen in Victoria with Brooke. Brooke, a professional show jumping rider, former farrier, and decided that there was an easier way to make a living than shoeing horses. And now he's one of Victoria's leading coaches and also trainers. So 2 rails down now, 8 jumping penalties, 2 fences left to go, 3 jumping efforts. Well, safely over the last 8 jumping penalties, time taken 78.16, 1 time penalty, a total of 9 after the completion of their round for Brooke Dobbin and Silvo. So still just the 4 clear rounds at this stage of the competition. 3 horses left to go in this class as we welcome out from Hawke's Bay in New Zealand, Bridget Hanson. And Bridget riding number 21 in the draw, Toulon NZPH. And Toulon NZPH, nominated by Walker and Juliette Hanson, ridden by their daughter Bridget. And Bridget has been a very successful junior and young rider in New Zealand, and then immigrated, like many a good Kiwi, to Australia. Don't they say there's more Kiwis in Australia than in New Zealand? She saw the light, thought she'd come and live with all us wonderful Aussies. And she is now based at Penrith with her fiancé. And like all good Kiwis that are any good at sport or any sort of talent, we claim them as Aussies. And Bridget Hanson is now pretty much an Aussie. We'll claim her as one of our own. And we wish her and her fiancé, Jono, all the best. Their wedding in January next year. And it really is wonderful to see Bridget here at the Sydney Royal Easter Show yet again in 2017. Eight jumping penalties, 1 time penalty, a total of 9 for Bridget Hanson and Toulon NZPH, 79.25. 8 jumping, 1 time penalty, just over the time allowed of 78 seconds for a total of 9. As we now welcome out Stephen Hill, and Stephen riding Ylambi's Bellini Star. Stephen went super in Europe with this mare, Bella, as she's known around the stables. And Stephen and his wife Amanda uprooted their family and their business and put it all on hold for Stephen to go and pursue a dream of riding in Europe, and did a superb job in doing so. Represented Australia at 3 of our Nation Cups events in the lead up to the 2016 Rio Olympics. And at Ylambi's Bellini Star, bred by Rory Hovell in Western Australia, and has had great success for a number of years with Stephen at the helm. So this horse, Bruce Hill, Stephen's late father, in fact, bought it as a 21st present. And they bought it from, it was sitting at Chris and Helen Chugg's. And it's an interesting story because a few other people went and looked at it. And I don't think anyone would disagree that this mare wasn't the most conventional looking mare as a 2-year-old. And they actually didn't pay a huge amount of money for it. And I know there's a few riders out in the grandstand today kicking themselves because she has been an absolute superstar of a horse. And Stephen, a bricklayer by trade from Western Australia. Victoria. The horse was bred in Western Australia. Now he works full-time with his mum in the local IGA. So carrying the 4 jumping penalties from fence number 3, so he's not going to trouble our leader. Could pick up 5th place if he's quicker than 65.20. He'd have to get his skates on to try and do that. Stephen Hill turns to the final line. It's down, A's right, B's there. A lovely warm-up class for Stephen Hill, Yolambi's Bellini star. 69.83. Time was quick enough to take the lead, but a rail down. 4 jumping penalties. No time penalties will put him down into 9th place at this stage of the competition. As we welcome out our final show jumping rider, Kate, for the first day of competition. This is Jamie Winning Kermond, and Jim Winning is riding Zarissa. Zarissa, an imported warm blood mare from Europe, and very talented young horse. And Jamie Winning being a top rider. We don't tell too many people, but Jamie actually started her career as an eventer. She was living in the city and kept her horse at Centennial Park. She had a great horse by the name of Blackjack. And then she came out here to the Sydney Royal Easter Show and saw the amount of fun that all of our show jumping riders were having. And she said, Mum, I actually want to have a go at that show jumping. And as they say, 12 years later, the rest is history. And now Jamie, one of our leading show jumping riders, and businesswomen in the sport of equestrian, runs a very successful business, Yandu Equestrian, based at Ebenezer out there, and has one of the premier properties for producing some of the top horses and riders that we see competing here this weekend. Jamie Winning, the rider on course, and she is riding Zarissa. So 2 early rails for Jamie, carrying the 8 jumping penalties. Normally I'd say our current leader would grow a little bit of a smile, but that's actually Jamie's husband in Kermo. So he'll be watching intently. I'm sure he wouldn't have minded if Jamie took the lead from him. Not going to be the case today. Second half of this round looking sensational for Jamie. One fence left to go. A's right, B's right, safely through the combination, stops the clock, 76.91. 16 jumping penalties, no time penalties, a total of 16. And we'll have the official results, but congratulations to the current Australian show jumping champion, Yandu Oaks Constellation, and Jamie Kermond take the win here this afternoon in the first of our Group A Section 1 classes. If you are watching on the live stream, stick with us for the presentation. If you're here at the Spotless Stadium, then we've got plenty of activities still to come here this afternoon. Of course, at 5 o'clock, we will have the first round of the World Series Camp Draft to take place.
Well, we now have pleasure in bringing you the confirmed results of Class 1 to 8, the Australian Stock Horse and Lady Rider Senior, and congratulations go to Melise Toomer-Webb and Mr Clayton Webb with their nomination, and Deezer Riverley X-Ray from Goulburn there, and ridden by Melise Toomer-Webb, so congratulations there. In second place, the nomination of Joy Poole and Tina Bridge, J-Star Vintage Rose. In third place, it's Brewers Binui Conductor. It's the nomination of Ben Han. Ridden by Amy Bonser. And in fourth place, it's Zeronite Delta's Magic, Kathy Lammy from Wyong Creek. In fifth place, Silverthorn Man of War, Paul Waddell and Mrs Julie Waddell, ridden by Brittany Hetherington. And in sixth place, Kate Scrowan from Corowa with Orlanga MK Popcorn, our catalogue number 2224. So congratulations there to our winner, Melise Toomer-Webb on Andiza Riverley X-Ray. And she will receive the gold cast bronze figure of a horse with saddle and harness. It's the RAS Ashler Ian Armstrong Perpetual Trophy, and it's awarded to the winner of the Australian Stock Horse and Lady Rider. There's also a prize for the winner of the Australian Stock Horse and Lady Rider Senior Class, supported by the Australian Stock Horse Ladies Association. So a very big class, and some great quality horse and rider combinations there, and congratulations once again. Now, over in our Shetland class, we have once again many Shetlands in the ring. This is 3 Shetland pony mares or fillies, 2 years and over, owned but not necessarily bred by the exhibitor. And that is currently being judged once again by Mrs Joy Jones, who's had a very busy and very long day, and a wonderful time, I'm sure, for any Shetland enthusiast to be able to stand and look at such wonderful animals in such close proximity. So, yes, would have been a big day. And it's almost drawing to a close. We're not very far away, Tim, from moving on into our afternoon's entertainment, and we'll have our Shetland parade.
I was about to say, we've got a special parade this afternoon of all those beautiful, and what great numbers we've had of our Shetland exhibitors here at this year's show. They've been wonderful to see, such a fine turnout, and I am so pleased I am not Mrs Joy Jones, because she has had a huge job. You know, often you see at an ag show, you might see 1 or 2 quality exhibits, and then you work out your minor placings. But here, every one of them would be a winner at many shows. So
indeed,
she's done a beautiful job. As a fellow Shetland owner now these days, with my 35-year-old Mr Coco.
So as they pass the members stand, big round of applause for our lady riders in the Australian Stock Horse Ashler class there, and congratulations once again to Melise Toomer-Webb and Mr Clayton Webb as well for nomination, and Deezer Riverley X-Ray. Melise had to do all the hard work, so
I'm sure there'll be a celebration with Melise at the members bar later on this evening. She comes from just down the road from me down there at Goulburn, so well done to Melise.
And to all of the other riders and competitors for looking so fantastic and doing such a great job there. Everyone's so beautifully presented, and we did see a good class there, so well done.
We'll go with the... Well, we join our attention now down to the show jumping for the presentation of the Bob Chittick Memorial Perpetual Cup for the owner of the winning horse in class number 856, and well done to the winner of this competition. And we ask our judge to make the presentation. Congratulations to the winner, Jamie Kermond, riding Yandu Oaks Constellation. Wins this lovely class here this afternoon, and the owner, Yandu Equestrian Services, of this beautiful horse, I know will really cherish that lovely award, the Bob Chittick Memorial Perpetual Cup, for the owner of the winner of class number 856, and well done to all the connections involved with that lovely horse in first place. Second place, congratulations to Becky Jenkins and RSB Jacana. 71.05, so less than half a second behind our winner of 70.75. Absolutely nothing in it in this competition. And then exactly half a second between second and third place. Third place was awarded to Gabrielle Kuna and Sierra Casiago. Gabby recently buying a property out here in the western part of Sydney, and a great producer of horses and doing a superb job on Sierra Casiago. Fourth place, well done to Jess Brown and Casco. Great to see Casco back in Australia, and look at him eyeing off those carrots. Well done to our fourth place getter. And fifth place, congratulations to our winner there in Billy Raymond and Anton. So well done, the winner of the Bob Chittick Memorial Perpetual Cup for the owner of the winning horse in class 856, the Group A Section 1 Table A event. Congratulations to Jamie Kermond and the connections with Yandu Oaks Constellation. And Kate, it looks like we have another presentation to make down the far end of the arena.
Yes, indeed. With our Shetlands, it was class 455. The 3 Shetland pony mares or fillies, 2 years and over, owned but not necessarily bred by the exhibitor, and they have cleaned up today. It's the Crenelli stud, KG and JJ Brown and Crenelli stud from Goulburn, and they have taken out once again another class of multiple Shetlands there. In second place, it was Fiona Wilson and Miss Nornie Wright from Ballingie in Victoria, and in third place, the nominations of CD Biggar and PT McCormick, also from Goulburn. So well done to all of our Shetland exhibitors, and we're looking forward to seeing everyone back in our Shetland parade very shortly.
And the Bob Chittick Memorial Perpetual Cup has been running since 1957. And boy, there's some great names on there, the likes of Ted Dwyer, Johnny Fay, Kevin Bacon, right through to 2016 when it was won by Clem Smith. And in 2015, Billy Raymond. And Bob Chittick came from well-known South Coast family who were very prominent in the horse world. Bob was an excellent rider of both hacks and jumpers, and at one time held the Australian high jump record. He looked after the Field show horses for many, many years, and on his death, the late T.A. Field and M.A. and R.A. Field presented the cup in his memory, awarded to the owner of the winning class, 856. And Bob Chittick, we have a picture of him riding Musician. And he set a ground record at the Sydney Royal Easter Show, jumping 7'3". So a long history there, dating right back to 1957. And well done to the winner of that class there today, Jamie Kermond and Yandu Oaks Constellation.
That was an interesting story about